somehow I ended up with two cliff bungalows, and they're kind of the same. So I could see how I could get confused. 3 days ago. All right, who is that? Well, first off, let's fix the name confusion here. Can't even see those names. So let's rename this one here. I don't know. Let's call it Mount Royal. What the heck? Hey! Oh, good Lord. All right. So now I got different names. Oh, all right. Oh, okay. Just waking up, so yeah. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. Here we go. This is what we haven't done yet here. All right. Oh, good Lord. So now I have to develop these oil resources here. Doesn't really matter where I put this, it's so big. All right, let's put it there. Let's go into city specialization. Let's go to our drilling menu. Let's put this right there. Okay. Now we need a trading thing here. Trade depot. Do I have? Yeah, I do. I can just put this here. Okay. Add another. There we go. And now what we need to do is go back to here and manage global market deliveries and export this crude for now until we get a refinery set up going. Okay. Let's close this menu here, please. Thank you. Now let's pump this up a bit here. We can add 2, 1, not enough simoles. Alright, maybe we can afford the sign. Little free road here. Alright, 10 grand. Okay, I just need to make some money, so just turn the city up to cheetah speed, number 3, which I would recommend letting the game run at most of the time, at least 2 or 3. If you build on 1 on llama speed, you're basically building faster than the game is running, and it's very easy to run out of funds when you do that. Alright, so they're still hiring. We probably need some more people here, and the best way of doing that is either zoning or upgrading roads. And we need water. Blocked up pipes too for the sewage. Let's add another one here. Okay. Um, Let's go to our population panel, look at our detail tab. Ooh, got a lot of available jobs for middle class people. So we need some trees. Because what I need to do is I need to get some of these districts here. There we go. All right, now let's get some more people here. Zone some of these for green. Uh-huh. Okay. Better put some blue in here too so that they have some shopping. We can look at that in the population panel. If you go here to unsatisfied in the shoppers, that's where it tells you you need more commercial zoning. Okay. All right, so let's put some more here. Yeah, maybe a little bit more commercial here, or industrial here. If it'll build there, yeah, it will. Because we need some jobs here in this. And I don't really like people commuting out if I. These are your taxpayers here, the working people. Or the total, I guess. Okay. Oh, we're bringing them home. Unemployed. That's not good. One way we can deal with unemployment is simply upgrade these roads here where the factories are. Looks like we're going to need some more road here because I need some more industrial. Let's just take it off of here to there, to there. Good enough. These demand bars here are not very reliable. They give you kind of a rough idea, but nothing quite as detailed as this. See, look, they say there's a demand there, but here we have unemployment. It's craziness. All right, hold on. I'm going to take a break here. Be right back. Oh, I need power. Power. Wind farms are kind of funny in a way. They're inevitable because when you start out a game, when you start out a city, you almost certainly need to use a wind farm. They're the least expensive. They don't require any resources. Basically, it's free money once you build it. Now, not every city has the same amount of wind speed. And wind speed is one of the main factors in how effective your wind farm is going to be. This city has an average kind of speed of 10. I think it goes between 8 and like 12 or something like that. So it's not a big difference. But in a city with a low wind speed, your power plants are you're going to be upgrading sooner. The other aspect of this is as the city gets older, you start to get access to things like the vertical turbine and the wind power amplifier, which can make even small wind farms fairly effective. The problem is that wind farms inherently take up a lot of space, a lot of real estate. So on some maps like this map here, where there's a lot of geographic features that are not usable in terms of development, you're really limited. Now, one thing that a wind farm can do, though, is if you put the roads in places where there is no development, like here, I can add turbines sometimes to these areas here. Okay, so normally there would be nothing that I could do with this space in here, but now I can throw a wind turbine in there. Okay, so wind farms are one way of utilizing areas of the map where you normally wouldn't be able to. Now I have enough power here. I can't use a wind power amplifier yet because this city doesn't really have a lot of control net. Actually, I could check that. Cancel that. That was a mistake. If you go to your city specialization menu and you go to, oh no, I don't think it's this one. I think it's here. Here it is. If you go to your region view and you go to your control net trading, there are no neighboring control net providers. So I can't get control net and I'm not generating it yet with the Academy. So things like the wind power amplifier are not going to help me at all. Now, let's take a look at this city here in greater detail. We got an issue here. Classrooms are full, which is invariably the case. Schools fill up fast. Huh. Here's my school. Alright, one of the ways I can add... Oh, I can't put a top on. I'm going to put another base on. One of the ways I can relieve overcrowding on this school is to build a high school. Because then some of the students will move on. And I can afford it. The question is where to put it. Alright, let's stick it here for now. Alright. Add some more bus stops, school bus stops here where they are lacking. There's one on that side. This center area doesn't have one. These guys don't have one. All right, that'll bring more kids into the school system. And educated Sims have there's quite a few benefits. They less inclined to become criminals. There's less fires. There's less health problems. And also, eventually, you'll need high tech industries, and those rely on educated workers. So if you don't have educated people, citizens, then you can't get high tech industries. Or at least the high tech industries will be a lot slower to develop. And it's those high tech industries that pollute less. Now let's take a look at our population here. We still don't have any real growth except in the middle class. So I need to build up some middle class areas here. And the way to do that is to add trees. So just by putting a tree here and a tree there, a tree here, I can change these areas into middle class areas. So if I take out a house here and I add a tree, I'll increase the property values there. Right there. Okay. Now these buildings here should now become middle class buildings instead of low income buildings. Here we go. We can see the houses. So if we go back to our population panel, oh man, things change so quickly in this game. So now I have a massive need for people. And in this city, the easiest way to do that is going to be to upgrade the roads here. Medium, low density, high density, high density, medium, 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 medium. With medium density, I'll start to get apartment buildings. Alright, I think that's it. Okay. Also, you got to make sure that the connector roads can handle the flow of traffic. So they always have to be upgraded as well. Alright. So that'll help. And there's quite a lot of unused space in this city. I need more waste. Backed up pipes again. Yep. Is there anywhere I can place this? Yeah, right there. Okay. The graphics for some of these wind things are pretty funny. You can actually get the blades turning into the hillside, like here. So the game isn't visually perfect, but it functions. So let's take a look at this trade depot. We got no oil here yet. Are we building up oil here yet? A little bit. Let's uh, let's add some. They're 10 grand a piece. I got lots of money. Alright, so now I need another truck. Alright, so now I should start making money by the bucket here. Pardon the pun. And money will help me solve a lot of my problems. Like this one. Okay. Oh, I need water. Good place to put water is on these roads that you can't build along anyways, but they will take a water tower. And often they're in areas where there's quite a lot of water anyways. Geez, we're borderline, hey? So let's take a look at the economics of building here. So each of these costs 160 an hour. Don't worry about the initial average or the initial cost, the development cost, the 6,000. That's not what you really want to pay attention to. What you really want to pay attention to is the 160 an hour because that's your real expense. Because over the life of the game, that will add up to a lot. It will dwarf the 6,000. Now, what you need to do is you need to compare that 160 an hour to this water pumping station. Now it pumps out at 400 an hour. So that's three of these basically. I don't know why they made it 160. Start with the basic one, 100. So if we take four of these water towers to make up one water pumping station. And right now I have three. Okay. So if I actually, and they're the more expensive ones. So right now what I could do is I could simply take a road here, find a place where the water table is good. Water, where are you? Here we go, water table map. Okay. Alright, here we go. Alright, can I put one here? No. I don't know what this is. There it goes. Alright, now what I need to do is get a water pump here and stick it there. Okay, now once it's running, once it's open for business, so to speak, we should get. Now the water gauge is showing us that we have max supply here. And this is working. So now what we can do is we can now turn these off. Turn them off. Now we should see the water we have available drop off. What we've done is we've saved the money from these three, which is equivalent to what we're spending on this water pumping station. And the water pumping station provides far more water than the towers do. So that's basic economics, and those same economics work across the game. All of the electrical, the water, the sewer works exactly the same. You build with the small stuff until it costs as much as the big stuff, and then you swap the small stuff for the big stuff and carry on. Now, sometimes you don't have room for a water pumping station because they take space. So what you have to do then is you have to rely on more expensive towers, water towers, in strategic locations. Or you might be forced to do both because water is one of those things. If you look at this map, this city, pardon me, this city has an enormous water table. Okay, and also we're near the shore, and these areas tend to seem to replenish from the water here. So if you put a water tower here, it seems to last for a long time. And there's lots of places to put stuff. This city will probably not run out of water. But if we go to some other cities, here, like let's look at this one way up in the hills here, Turner Valley, for comparison. If we look at the water table here, you can see that there is a lot less water. Okay? A city like this could conceivably at some point run out of water. The other mistake that people make is they will actually pollute their water. You, in a city like this, see even here, I'm making this mistake right here. I have built an industrial area over my water table. This is not a good idea. I should be zoning my industrial area up here. The problem with that sometimes is that the wind conflicts with the water table. Oh, and not in this case, because I can put the wind's blowing in this direction, so I can easily afford to have my industrial up in this area. Actually, it's not what I want. Let's pause that before they build there. Let's de-zone this before they get carried away. And this is where I want it. Right to there. And this is an excellent industrial area, actually. An industrial park. So now I can just zone it as industrial. And I can de-zone this here. Now eventually these guys will move out. And what I'll do is I'll make this commercial. All right. Now that'll take some time. So we can just let that run. Keep an eye on our population here because that's going to be where the trouble is. We don't want massive unemployment. All right, I'm going to go get a coffee here. I'll be right back. Let this run here at a slow speed while things change slowly. See what happens when we get back. we still have quite a few people, quite a few jobs, not enough people, pardon me. Uh, so just add some zones here. Traffic is pretty bad even now. It's all the way back into that tunnel. We can crank up the speed for a bit here of the sim. We have lots of available jobs, so let them develop. Let's check out our region connections here. Make sure everything's properly connected. It is. Okay, we don't have to worry about that anymore. So that's Turner Valley. It's just kind of a shame you can't do more in this region. There's no building or anything. There's just data. And there's a region wall in the multiplayer game where you can talk to other mayors of other cities. This is your freight map. These are your shoppers. So people are coming here to go shopping. These are your workers. People are leaving to go work elsewhere. These are the commuters. Shoppers. Students. This is your transit map. Oh, I have a one bus connection, a school bus, and a train connection. I don't have a train connection here. Does this Peggy's Cove not have a train station? Okay, let's look at that. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. There is a train, but there is no train station. So we can fix this. We can go into the transportation menu, mass transit menu, I mean. Go to trains, grab a train station, plop it right about the middle there. Then we can take a road from here to there to there. There. No, let's leave it at that for now. Okay. Now the train station, all it needs is a road. It's all the things that it requires to be up and functional. It has one addition, which is the sign. That's all you can do with this. However, it's working now. Let's turn the speed up here. We'll get a train coming in. Now there is one other thing you can do with trains here, and that you can put in at some point, you can put in a trade port with a rail connection. Okay, so there's our train station. We should see a train coming in from the right here at some point, stopping at the station. People are there waiting for the train now. Here it is. There is our train, magically jumping to the other side of the tracks. Now if we go back to our region, and we go to our transit, mass transit, you will now see that there is a green connection here. So you can now take the train from these two cities, which is good. You need to have these kind of connections so that people can commute easily. This train connection will help alleviate the traffic on that highway that we saw to some degree. Now, unfortunately, there's no way to get boats here. But Peggy's Cove should be able to do that. Here, do we have a... Yes, we already have a ferry terminal at Peggy's Cove. So now, theoretically, they can take the train to Peggy's Cove and get on the ferry or the cruise if they need to. Education classrooms are full. We need more people here. Okay, so we can add a classroom out the back, give them another bus, put the school sign up, and the flagpole. And later we can do a gymnasium here in a bit, but for now that's enough. I'm a little shy on cash. So let's just hold off on the gymnasium. How's the library doing? 361. That's not bad for a library. With the library, your adults will slowly gain education. Not like a college or a high school or a university, but they will slowly get smarter. So one of the very first things I do is put down a library. Okay, now back to the usual fixing things here. May as well put these to use here if I can. That's it. Just a few houses in there. Oh, what do I have here? Is this... Oh, I have an airship hangar. So now I have a train station, a ferry terminal, and an airship hangar. So this little place is becoming a transportation hub for the other cities. And I do believe that this is going to be near my airport. Yeah, I think this is going to be the airport. Which I cannot build yet because I, A, do not have enough money. It takes $1,000,000. And I don't have... Do I need? I need a municipal airport in the region. Oh, that's not hard. Let's go do that. So for that, I need a map that's flat. Not the best map. The reason I need a flat map, like here, no. Edmonton, maybe. Let's look at Edmonton. Edmonton's pretty flat, I think. Yes. And lots of wide open spaces. Alright, so let's put a municipal airport here. Let's get a road. Let's go to a top-down view here, which makes it much easier to... Okay. Oh man, you know what? That scroll speed is killing me here. Settings. Add scrolling. Let's see if that has the effect that I want it to have. That's it. There we go. Not nearly so jerky. When you have the reason that slider exists is if you have a slower machine, you'll need to crank that slider up so that it moves at a reasonable rate. This is a very fast gaming system, so it can just render that very fast. So the setting was just too fast. Now let's turn this a bit so that it's like square. The mouse wheel for me zooms in and out. I don't have to use the zoom keys. The municipal airport looks like this. Could put it right there. Alright, let's do it. Right here. Right next to our train station and our bus depot. Okay. So now we have a municipal airport. We do not have enough tourism demand for an airport. Well, that is easy to fix. All we need to do is go here to, let's just put a casino here. No, I think I'm going to put it here. And we need like upper class rooms, lower class rooms, low wealth gambler, and low wealth tourist. Oh wait, let's get rid of this row of trees here. We can't be in the building mode. We have to be in the regular mode to do that. Abandoned building. There, that row of trees right there. Now, oh, and we can do this too over here. Get rid of that. Low land values. Those guys don't stay if anything happens to their land values, but that's okay. So now, we'll fix that in a minute. Raises land values and add more stuff. So low wealth tourists. Low wealth gambler. I got the gambler. I need the tourist. There it is. Boom. And I need a sign. Bingo. Okay. Put the sign where I can't use that space anyways. There's my casino. Now, I can add freight to this too. You can add a sign. You can add passenger terminals, runways, and a cargo terminal. 300 an hour. Okay, so now I have air freight as well. Now, I can go to the region. I think I was going to put my spaceport here because it's higher, and I was going to put my airport there. Not approved. Not approved. Oh, I need 100 tourists to arrive at the municipal airport in the region. Jesus. Well, to do that, what I really need is more than one municipal airport. I need a couple. Oh, and I need some air. Right, so here's another one. Okay. Let's get the airports out here. Planes, airports. There we go. Look at that, eh? Right there. Hmm. I'm going to do it here. Right there. Alright, low tourist attraction. Same issue. So let's go into gambling. Let's add this, that. Let's go with medium uh, tourist and tourist. Let's try that. Let's get lots of tourists in here. Okay. Now let's go to some of these other areas. And let's add Mount Royal, for instance. Let's see if this city has any kind of air transport. It does not. See, it would be hard here to put an airport anywhere. There's just not enough room. So what we're going to do is we're going to put an airship hangar instead. See how that goes. Now, let's talk about these airship hangars. So we have two aspects. There's this to it too. There's the commuter airship mooring, which takes a little space here. The problem with these commuter airship moorings, I got the money, I could just build it, is you need two of them. So there's no point in having one running until you get it. The big one, though, this will just send people off to wherever in the airship, so this is worth having, even if you only have one of them on the map. The other thing you want to do is you probably want to put a bus stop here. And you probably want to have a park and ride somewhere there too. Alright, so there we go. It's probably going to screw myself for this water pumping station. But whatever. Okay. Oh, and power. We're definitely out of power now. Okay, so that's it, eh? Really? Kind of sucks. Geez, it's a little too slow now, okay? Go into settings, go into gameplay. Let's crank it up a bit. There we go. Yeah. So what I need is a service road here. Now let's see if I can put one of these here. I can. And I can put another one here. Now the thing with these ones is they don't take a lot of space, but they put out more power. Of course. Let's take a look. These ones put out 5.1. Meanwhile, this thing is putting out 15, 3 times as much. Okay. Oh, okay, I need a break. We've been playing for a while. So medium cities are a bit more challenging. You got to kind of respond to things as they're going along, and you have to fit things in, and you have to plan your upgrades for what you need. I want to build an international airport and I want to build a spaceport, which this one's being built. Actually, as we speak, let's go there. Here it is. I have no idea how to get there. Oh, I gotta go back to where I am, I guess. Then go to the Great Works. No, I gotta go to the city. This one here. So I guess I have to go to Clearwater Beach. Now I can go to my Great Works. No, that's not it either. I'm so confused. No, that's not it either. Wow. These larger regions are a bit confusing. Oh, here we are. So I need to go to this place. Glenmore Landing. That's one of the ones with the Great Works that I'm working on. So each Great Works has a cluster of cities that support it here. This is where I'm building the arcology right there, and these are the 4 cities that are supporting it. So there's my Great Works. And this is the first phase. So all I can do now is just feed it materials till all of these 3 bars are full. Then it'll go into the second phase, which is construction. And then once the thing is constructed, then it'll start working. And by working, what that means is it provides things to the 4 cities it's connected to. The solar farm provides power. The archaeology provides workers, shoppers, and tourists, I think, visitors. And school kids, things like that. The Space Center provides tourism and some other stuff. I don't know. It's probably the least useful, but the most interesting of all of them. The airport, the international airport, provides tourists, visitors, and shoppers and freight, I believe. We can actually look at that, I think, somehow. If you go to this, no. I'm so confused. I am so confused. I think you have to be on one that you have to build on. So let's go here. That's not one of these 4. So this will have its own Great Works menu. So we go here to Great Works. Yes, okay, here are the menus. So you got your solar farm, benefits, power, international airports, benefits, tourists, and accepts freight. Tourists and education for the Space Center. I knew there was an education thing to that. And this is the big one, the arcology. And this is the one they push you to build. They make it the easiest to get to. And it because it adds the most benefit to your cities. Your cities will be more successful if they're hooked up to this thing, this arcology. Because the main limiting factor in these cities is area. These cities are just too small. It was the major complaint about this game was the size of the cities was too small. And they did this deliberately because in the 2013 when the game was being released, 2012, 2011 when they were working on it, this game strained the graphics abilities of most graphics cards at the time. Well, not most of them, but the less expensive ones. And so the management wrongly decided to make the game work on slower systems by limiting the size of the cities. It was a short-sighted decision because it ruined the game. Okay, if these cities were at least twice as large, this would have been twice the game. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And within a year or two of the release of this game, of course, most computers could run this game easily. So they really underestimated how quickly graphics cards would scale, and they underestimated how many people who would buy the game because they had computers that were capable of running the game. These managers are not competent. If they were competent, they would have made better decisions. There's two reasons that this happened. One was greed. They wanted to put out the game faster. They wanted to sell more. And in their minds, the way to do that was to make the game run on everything and to get it out the door quickly. What they should have done is they should have focused on the game. How can we make this the best game it could be? And if it took a little longer, and if it didn't sell as many copies at first, that would have been better because the franchise would have endured and established itself. This would probably be the dominant city builder today. Instead, it was heavily criticized to the point of where almost no one really seriously bought it. People stayed with SimCity 4 because of its vast areas of development. And they played this and they got to the end of where the cities were really constrained, and they just said, okay, well, that's it, I'm done with the game. What more can you do? Okay. It wasn't until the upgrade, the Cities of Tomorrow, that you could really take these cities one step further with the mega towers and a few other features that they added, like water recycling. But no, the game was mismanaged in its development, sadly. Now, with the Cities of Tomorrow upgrade, and with the modding done by the modding community, it's actually possible to push this game past those limitations that doomed the original release. And this game has one advantage over the other Sims, is it's more of a game and less of a sim. Which is, I mean, if you're looking for a pure sim, that's bad. Okay, but if you're just an average person and you want to play a sim and you want to have fun, it's good. This is actually a fairly fun sim to play because it's gamified, and there are, there's accomplishments in here that you can achieve, achievements that you can work towards. It's fulfilling in a way that some sims are not. Some sims are, just grind. You just you just keep adding and developing that sim. It just keeps getting bigger and more complicated. Pretty soon the complexity is almost overwhelming, and that's what makes that sim interesting, is scope, scale, and complexity. But if you just want to have fun, scope, scale, and complexity are your enemies, because you need to be involved. You need to. It's work. Okay, it's like a project. Okay, and for some people that's fun. For other people that's not. This game is fun because it's simpler. It doesn't get into that level of complexity, and it has clearly defined goals and things to do. I mean, you feel good when you get the Space Center working. You feel good when you get the arcology working. Okay, so these great works, they're like accomplishments, and you do feel accomplished when you get them working. And these medium-sized cities are quite challenging in and of themselves here. They're not they're not straightforward. They have issues, especially the ones with constrained space. You have to really work to make that city work within the space you have. And almost always you have to make some sacrifices in some areas. It's just a fairly stable city. I've got no yellow across the board. Everybody's happy. I can just let it run. This is actually one of the things that is actually difficult to do, is to get cities to be relatively stable and just run without yo-yos. Yo-yos, by yo-yos I mean like plunging into debt and then having money and then back into debt, having money and back into debt, or crime waves. You just can't get you can't get the crime to go down, or sewage. Always having to add more and more sewage, and you don't have enough room for these sewer plants. And the same for water. Water's the worst. God, water is the worst. Water has killed my cities. More than any other thing, water has killed my cities. Just running out of it. Yeah. There are a few maps or a few regions where the cities are in very places with very little water, not a lot of water. And if you're not careful, you can exhaust all the water in those cities fairly easily. So that's one thing to watch out for. Okay, I'm going to call it a day. I'm going to move on, do something else. We've had fun. So that's SimCity 2013. Oh, how am I? It's working. It's working. Yeah, it everything's working. Everything is working. Yep, just the way it should. And the city's making money. Everybody's happy. Oh, sewer. Backed up pipes. Okay, I have 4. Each of these costs 100. This is 400. It is time for a sewer treatment plant. Here we run into the problems. put it here. Turn these off. Add one of these. Off, 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 and off. Now, oh, I thought it was working. All my sewage is going out of the city here. No, no, now it's coming back. Here we go. Now, the one good thing about a sewage treatment plant is the pollution that you're creating, that red bar that's turning green, disappears. So you're not polluting your city anymore. So it's probably better to put one of these sooner than later, because then you won't have to add a ground scrubber later. Now, you can clear out the pollution with a ground scrubber once you get the technology researched. Why is my bar not turning completely green? There it goes. A little more. Are these all? Oh, it's still here. That's why. Closed. Now, this will go completely green. Treated. 100%. Come on. Alright, let's turn the speed up. There it goes. That could be the stuff that's going out of the city, I think, maybe. I don't, nope. Yeah, there it is, 100%. Alright, so we have sewage treatment has been resolved, and we're still making money. Now what I can do is I can get rid of these sewage treatment plants. And I can put zoning if there wasn't, but I think that there is. Just get rid of them. Yeah, add this. There we go. Weird, eh? Yeah, the zoning around here can be a little strange. Huh. All right. Oh, there we go. There we go. building. See, it's a little wonky. You have to sort of be kind of persistent with them. You can find these little spaces. You can add a little bit of revenue to your town. Alright, let's turn it off here. Oh. Let's go down to normal speed here. Yeah, let's go for a drive. Pick a car. Find a car. Need a car. You bastard. There we go. Follow. Now we'll follow this guy around. We can zoom in a little bit. We can. There we go. There. Now this is as close as you get to a cinematographic mode in this game. Oh, jump to source. That wasn't good. Oh, bummer. There we go. That's a pretty crisp view. Oh, police officer. All right, let's follow the police officer. So there's my city. We can drive around. Oh, so much for that little trip. Oh, we can follow people too. Ashlyn is checking out the sights. Came from the passenger train station. I'm out of coffee. I can't believe it, man. I wonder if she's going to go in the casino. Yes, goes into the casino. I've never seen that happen, folks. So they actually do go to destinations and you lose them. Wow. Forest Pharaoh, checking out the sights. Also. You can't click on the people at the bus stop. They're not real. Just the pedestrians. These people are also not real. Just the pedestrians. variety of different buildings. House of the Holy. There we go. Came from the Rambler. The Rambler. I know what that is. Like to check out low cost services. All right. So, thank you for watching. See you soon. I'm going to go play Fortnite maybe.